Welcome to the Godly Business Podcast. I am your host, Anne Jean-Pierre, and I am excited to talk to you today. We are days away from the end of 2023. This year has literally just blinked and it was done. So I am hoping that as we reflect on the end of the year, that you have more to celebrate than and less regrets, and more to look forward to in the new year. So today I wanted to talk about, given that it is the end of the year, what it is that you have accomplished in this year, whether you call those resolutions or your goals. Were you able to accomplish them? And if not, what were some of the main things that stood in the way of you achieving your goal and reaching them? So for me, a couple things that I find throughout that usually gets in the way is, one, not having a clear goal. For example, now I know most people probably know how to write goals. This is an assumption. However, when I talk to a lot of prospects, I realize that a lot of people actually don't really know how to set goals properly, or realistic goals, or how to make them clear. So today I want to kind of touch up on that. So let's get started. So how do you determine a goal, right? And how do you set a goal, especially when it comes to your business? So the first thing I think you have to look into is understanding your business. Of course, I hope that no one understands your business better than you, since it's your own business, right? So that's the first thing, is really understanding what your business is, how it operates, and then looking at it and determining, okay, what it is that is working, what are areas that are needs improvement, duplicates, that needs to be reduced, stress factors, different things like that to make your life easier. So, for example, for me, in one of my businesses, which is short-term rental, I had to figure out a way to make it easier for me on supplies, right? Refilling supplies. So that's one of the things I found that was like really annoying. And I had to figure out a way to make that aspect of the business no longer be such it wasn't a burden or anything like that, but it was just annoying, right? So how did I have to come up with a way to, achieve that goal of making it a little bit less something I have to think about, So those are the things that I'm saying, like in your business, like what it is that you need to look into. That's like, okay, this is an area that I don't really like to deal with. So how I'm going to address that. And then maybe test some different ways and for you to figure it out, have a discussion with your team, make it to where you have to really understand, okay, how much of, like, for example, in my situation, right? Like how much of this product are my guests using that I have to refill, right? Is this the best product that I have? Are my guests not so liking this product, so maybe I should change it up? Things like that. Are they using this product but not that product? When I, lay it out, is it even worth me still laying out, things like snacks and things like that? So this is something that for me, I had to look into, test out for, a period of time, like 90 days or so, see what didn't work, what worked, and then try it again. So the point I'm bringing when I'm saying this is you and your business, what are your goals? Are you writing down your goals? Are your goals measurable? So for example, let's say you want to, on a personal level, right? You want to lose weight. If all you say is that I want to lose weight, you probably won't lose the weight, right? And if you say, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds, now that's more of a measurable goal. But then the goal means nothing unless you have a deadline. Okay, you want to lose 30 pounds within what time frame? Is it in 4 months? Is it in 6 months? Is it in a year? Because the time frame that you determine to achieve your goal, that's going to determine what it is that you need to do, how fast you need to move, what things that you have to implement in order for you to really achieve that goal, right? So I think most of us would agree that it would be kind of ridiculous to think, hey, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 1 month. You could probably achieve that, but it's probably going to be a not really healthy way of achieving it. So the same applies to your business. If, for example, you are in a business that is seasonal, right? And your high seasons are only 6 to 9 months, and you want to achieve, a set of goal, but then how you implement whatever you implement, let's say it's toward, you're not going to see the results until the 9th month mark, right? So your business is seasonal. You only have 9 months that are very productive, but you have no way of measuring the success of this new program or this new test that you're rolling out until the 9 month ends. Well, you just kind of wasted a year, right? So, and looking at the end of the year that we are approaching on, these are things that I think maybe going into next year, we have to take into consideration when setting up our goals. The other factor is that I wanted to talk about that I think we should really reflect on and be completely transparent, honest with ourselves, and just be, because it's you as a business owner, and I'm talking to people who are decision makers in their businesses, right? So you're the business owner. You have to determine this for yourself. So that's why I say just be completely honest with yourself and just be 100% realistic with yourself. Are you setting up this goal based on an outside pressure that has nothing to do with your actual wants? Meaning, are you basing this goal of, I want to make, 120K this year, even though last year you made maybe 60K, right? And you're like, hey, I want to double my income this year. Now, depending on your business, that could be a realistic goal. But are you basing that goal off of someone else's performance or portfolio and what you hear on social media? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this conversation keeps happening so much, especially with the rise of social media and TikTok and all these people talking about, oh, here's how to make 6 figures in your business. Here's how to make, XYZ in your business and all of these things. And us and our businesses keep looking at them thinking, okay, now somehow I have to figure out how to make 6 figures in my business. And for some reason, we build in our mind that somehow I have to achieve 6 figures and then I'm successful. There are so many factors that you have to take into consideration when trying to achieve this financial goal for your business. And I just want to caution, because I'm not discouraging people. I'm not trying to discourage you from being aggressive, being ambitious in your business, and wanting to achieve, the best that you can. I do say, go for the stars, and if you fall, you will fall among the moon, right? So don't even go for the moon, go even higher than that. I'm a big believer in that. With that being said, I do think that we also have to take into consideration our personalities, right? Our lifestyle, and the goals that we are trying to reach, and calibrate it to really think, okay, is this realistic for me? Is this realistic for me in this season of my life, my personal life? Is this realistic in the season of my personal business? So it may be that you made $60K last year and your goal is to achieve $120K, but you're going to put that goal to achieve that in 3 years instead of, the following year. So maybe set the goal to, okay, I'm going from 60. I would like to achieve $80,000 next year. And with that, work your way backwards. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about working your way backwards and how to look at holistically, how to achieve that. And again, I do believe that most people understand this concept, but I just want to bring it back up so we don't go into the new year with unnecessary pressure, especially from social medias or other business owners that we are friends with, hearing their success and then being somewhat either discouraged or wanting to, match their success, and therefore going above what we can realistically achieve. And then at the end of the year, right, looking at our goals, we're disappointed because we didn't achieve what we thought we could. And I would say sometimes that's okay, right? So let's say your goal was to achieve 120K, and at the end of the year, you're like, hey, I achieved the $80,000. That's great, because now you're like, okay, you can go back and say, all right, so while my goal was to get 120K, I achieved $80,000. What areas that were very, very successful in me increasing my business? What areas were not so successful, and things like that. So nevertheless, what I'm saying is that you should really, really consider your motivational factors. What is motivating you to achieve those goals? Is it superficial in that you're trying to compete, not with yourself, but with others? I think the best competition to have is a competition with yourself. Like, hey, I did XYZ, right? So next year, my goal is to push myself to do XYZ, and not necessarily because of other people, because I do see that, unfortunately, a lot, especially with Gen Z and millennials wanting to, I need to have 6 figures a month, but your business just started and you can barely scrape, $5,000 a month. Like, let's just bring it back to reality is what I'm getting at. Bring it back to reality. So first things first, right? Determining why you want to achieve those goals. And the $80,000 goal, let's keep using that example. Why do you want to achieve $80,000, right? Is it just because, hey, I want my business to grow by at least 20K every single month? That is a completely valid reason. The other thing I challenge you to think about, what is that extra $20,000 going to do for your business? Be very clear on that. And the reason why I bring this up is I see this with, so I did the Dave Ramsey program to get out of debt. and things like that. And I've had encounters with different people who wanted to get out of debt, right? So they do like a refinance and get out of debt, not get out of debt really, but in their mind, they get out of debt. But really what you do is just you are reducing your interest by taking another loan, but you're still in debt, right? You're still in debt. You're just shifting now who you owe at a lower interest. But this is a good strategy if you're very clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? So let's say, hey, I'm going to shift my debt because this debt that I have is 23% interest rate. So I'm going to refinance my loans to have an 8% interest rate. Great. Now you're at the 8% interest rate. Now your payments went from $1,500 to, $500. Perfect. Now you have another $1,000, right? That you can play around with and possibly pay your debt even faster. So now you could maybe put $1,000 toward that debt. What I find is, unfortunately, most people not having a goal to do with that extra money, not being clear with what they want to do with that extra money, either spend it, right, and get back into even more debt. So why is this rant of mine about debt relevant? I also see the same thing with business owners. So your goal was to go from 60 to 80,000. Now you have an extra influx of 20,000. What is the goal with that extra $20,000? What are you going to do with that extra money? You need to be very clear on that before you even get it. Because what will happen is, unless you using a Dave Ramsey language, it's like if it doesn't have a plan, it will get spent pretty much. Have every dollar needs to have a plan. So if you don't have a plan for that money, it will get spent. Probably not in the way that you would want it to be spent. So before you set your goal of, I want to achieve, an extra $20,000, be clear on what that $20,000 is going to be for. Is it now, okay, now that I've achieved this $20,000, I can hire an extra set of hands. So now it's going to expand my business, right? To now where I can probably more realistically get to my $120,000 a year goal or more, because now I have an extra set of hands. We can do things a lot faster. Is it that now I can buy a better machine to do whatever, product or service that I was doing much faster, allowing me to now get things done faster, to try to get more customers in the door, because now I'm not back down because I can only produce 5,000 of this product. Now I can do 10,000, right? So now that I can double my capacity, I can now, go ahead and increase my sales, therefore get to that goal faster, right? So that's something that I think that a lot of people don't take into account when you're saying that, hey, I want to grow my business, I want to increase my income. What is that income for? And if it's for your personal use, that's fine, right? If, hey, I want to increase my business by $20,000 just so I can have this money for my personal use. But even with your personal use, be clear on what you're going to use it for, right? Hey, I need a new car, or my daughter's going to college and she needs a car. So therefore, I want to increase my business so that we can, be able to afford the car. Cool. Just make sure that you are very, very clear on what it is that you're achieving. You are, trying to get the funds for. So that's that. The other thing in trying to be clear on, your goal and setting up your goal properly is to think about working backwards, right? And again, I'm sure that most people do this. So if it is just a reminder, great. If you didn't know about it, great. But I think this is something that needs to be brought up. Work backwards, meaning I want to achieve $80,000, especially for businesses that are seasonal. I have 9 months to do that. My season start in March, for example, and it goes through whatever. So I need to sell X amount or close X amount of client at this such and such rates so that I can achieve my goal. So if that means, so what you do is just for easier math, let's say $100,000 is what you want to achieve for the year. You have 9 months to achieve that. So just take $100,000 and then divide it by 9 months, and then find out, okay, so if I want to achieve $100,000, that's in 9 months, I need to make $11,000 or so every single month for that. Okay, so what does $11,000 a month looks like? I need to close at least 10 clients per month, because that would give me, my product is $1,100, so I need to close 10 clients a month. How do I close 10 clients a month? How long does it take you to close one client, right? So if on average right now, you have to speak to 5 people before you get one client, and you realize you need 10 clients, so that means you have to speak to 50 people, right? Because you need 10 clients, you talk to 5 clients a month in order for you to get one, so times that by 10, so therefore you need 50 clients. You need to speak to 50 clients, or 50 prospects rather, in order for you to get one per every 5 that you speak with. And I'm bringing this up because I want you to think, do you have the capacity to speak to 50 people a month? I think it's realistic, but depending on your business, depending on your goals, depending on your kids, depending on your schedule, is 50 client realistic for you to have to speak to every single month? Now, there are ways that you can set it up. Obviously, 50 clients a month to me is not a lot, because you have, usually 30 days within the month, right? So if you're looking at it from that perspective, 30 days within the month to speak to your client, 50 client in 30 days, that's what, 2-3 clients per day or something like that. Don't account me to the math thing, but you get what I'm saying. So trying to speak to those clients within, that time frame, is it going to take away from your business, running your business? Because it's one thing to try to achieve, it's one thing to, because I don't think people realize that trying to get new clients is harder than maintaining your current clients, depending on your business field. Right. So maintaining your current clients is much, much cheaper than acquiring new clients. But I'm going to expand on that a little bit. So now looking at the 50 new prospect that you have to search for, having to realize, okay, is your marketing or your lead generation allowing you to speak to 50 clients? Does that mean now you have to spend money on marketing to try to get 50 clients on your books to talk to them? Do you do virtual? Is it face-to-face? Do you have to go meet them in person? How much time does that require for you to get? Are you at a capacity that you can meet those clients, that you can talk to those clients? Is it something that you have to now set up virtually to try to do? All of those things that you have to take into consideration. And that's why I said you have to work backwards to realize, okay, what will it take in order for me to get this goal? And is it realistic for me to get that goal? And just do the math from there and do the everyday, day by day action plan of you achieving that goal. And I don't think people are as detailed, right, when it comes to trying to get that. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is what I just mentioned a little bit ago, right? It's cheaper to keep your current clients than it is to go and get a new client because of all the things I just mentioned. Find the marketing aspect of it, the time aspect to acquire a new client. So maybe instead of trying to acquire a new client, see with your clients what other services that you could offer them, what upgrades that you could make to your current client pool, right? That you can go from, hey, this client used to get this package for, $500. Based on my relationship with them, I believe that I can offer them additional services that they would be willing to pay the extra $600 toward to make that $1,100 that I'm trying to achieve. So now it's going back to the board, looking at your client books, looking at your clients that you already have, and seeing, okay, can I work with what I got right now to increase my my cash flow by offering more services, and then therefore increasing my whole package, right? That I can offer them to increase my price, and therefore don't have to chase as many new prospects and then, doing the whole funnel thing to get them booked. So those are things that you have to consider in thinking about, okay, I want to increase my services and, increase my financial goal. So I hope this gave you some type of insight into the mindset that you have to have in setting up your goals. Like I said, the first thing is to really consider why it is that you want to achieve the goal that you want to. Make sure it's something that you really want, and not because you feel the pressure of trying to, keep up with the Joneses type situation, right? Like, you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. This is something that you actually want. This is something that is within line with the vision that you have for your business, and it makes sense for you. And then also consider, a couple other things, like, and you setting up your goal, what is that money? What is that excess money going for? Be very, very clear on that. Like, where is this money going? How I'm going to use these extra funds? Is it going to be for my personal use to relax a little bit more? Or is it to grow my business? Of course, I always recommend use it to grow your business. But hey, that's up to you, right? And then lastly, just work backwards, trying to figure out, okay, is this realistic? Is this realistic for my business, for me to invest, this much into my business to acquire new clients? Is it something I can really keep up with? Or should I find a different way to just increase my services to service my current clients in order for me to achieve those goals? And should I instead just break down this goal of achieving XYZ amount, 120,000 in 3 years, versus trying to double it? So I hope this is helpful. I pray that you are going to be successful in the new year, and that you will achieve all of your goals. So please send me a comment. Let me know if this was helpful. I hope that you are going to do this exercise of trying to, write down every plan and figuring out from there. Well, thank you so much. I will speak with you guys next week. I hope that God keeps you. I hope you listen to his counsel and his teaching, and I will see you on the next episode.